What is up, guys? I'm back and welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at one of the most highly anticipated figures of 2025, being none other than the Transformers Studio Series Leader Class Age of Extinction Knight Optimus Prime. Now this figure was highly anticipated by the community. Everyone was going nuts over this guy because you look at the design of this character and you compare it to the figure. Honestly, they did a really great job, and I personally was very surprised with how much dedication and how much uniqueness was in this figure. But what do I mean by that? Well, let's go ahead and dive a little closer look at this figure. Alrighty guys, so to start off with, we're going to be taking a look here at the box art for the AOE Optimus Prime. So as you can see, we have a lovely artwork up here in Optimus for his robot mode and his alternate modes. Transformers Studio Series, Age of Extinction, Optimus Prime. He transforms in 44 steps. On the top, Age of Extinction and Optimus Prime. On the side of the box, we have that other really nice artwork, Optimus Prime, Studio Series, Age of Extinction. On the side of the box, we have that artwork extending out as we see his shoulder. We get an Autobot logo, Transformers Studio Series. He is a leader class, a class A leader, a leader. I can't say all that. On the back of the box, you do have the obligatory product shot with his robot mode, his truck mode, a shot from the movie, Optimus Prime, Age of Extinction, with the bio that reads, Optimus Prime battles lockdown as he is hunted by Cemetery Wind, as well as this cool little shot here with Optimus holding the Sword of Judgment, which I actually really like that. But without further ado, let's get straight into the figure. And here we are with the Age of Extinction Knight Optimus Prime, which is one of the figures and one of the character designs I think that everyone could unanimously agree that this was a figure that we wanted to see Hasbro and Studio Series tackle, and I think they did a pretty fantastic job. So, getting a closer look here at the details, as you can see, he's got a lot of incredible detailing all over his body. They really captured the look of the Knight Optimus Prime super well. And one thing I was very surprised by was how clean this guy was. If you guys don't know, the Age of Extinction Optimus is one of the cleanest designs out of the movies, but it results in making a figure of the character basically impossible. And I think they did pretty good. He looks fantastic. The paint's distributed very nicely. There are some areas I wish were painted a little more, but that's just me personally. Now, obviously, you turn to the back and you get this, which I'm not completely against this. This I actually love. This whole situation going on down here. We'll get to this when we get to the transformation. This is a little annoying, but there is actually a function that they included, which if you untab the back via these two pieces here, you bring it up like so, there's a mushroom peg, and this thing pops off pretty easily actually. Just takes a bit of effort. You can fold this down, and now you have a very cleaned up back, which I think was honestly something that they were doing intentionally. Now, getting to the articulation, you do have a ball joint at the head, allows you to look up that far and look down that far, as well as side to side. You do get a full 360 at the arm. The shoulder piece can move up and over like so, and allows you to move the arm about that far. You do get a swivel here. You do get a double bend at the elbow, which is more for the transformation. You get a swivel at the wrist. The wrist can move down, which will allow you to recreate a really nice pose later on. The fingers can open and close, which is another function I do really love to see when it comes to these leader classes. You get a waist swivel. The skirt pieces can all flip up. The leg can kick forward that far, can kick back that far, can kick out about that far. You get a swivel here. You get a bend at the knee. No real up and down at the foot, but you do get a lovely ankle pivot. So overall, the articulation is absolutely incredible, and while there are some areas that I wish he could have improved on a little bit, overall, I think it's pretty fantastic considering what they're working with. Now then, getting to the accessories of the figure, starting off we have the Sword of Judgment, and this is how you do a sword. This is amazing. As you can see, it's got a lot of phenomenal detailing on it, and it's got some pretty nice paint with the red, but I do wish that the blade was painted a silver. I think that's something that they could have done. It's a bit of a missed opportunity, but the way you attach this is you can do this one of two ways. You can either split it up and put it in his hand, or you can do what I prefer to do, which is you open up the hand and you just slide it in like so. Now, why do I prefer to do it this way? Simple. I just think it looks a little more accurate. And as you can see, the poses you can do with this sword is incredible, and I'm so glad they gave him the articulation to where you could pull it off. But what good is having the Sword of Judgment if you don't have his shield to go with it? And this is another case of what the sword was, where it's got a little bit of red, but it's really just unpainted detailing, which I'm not the biggest fan of personally, but I understand why they did it. It's a pretty intense leader class. Now, another function you can do is you can actually pop these off and put them on these second pieces here, which does reveal the gun. And the way you attach it is that there's a peg here that goes into the peg on his arm, and you do actually have him, you can have him with the gun or without it. And in case you're wondering, you do have the function where you can push them back to where it reveals more of the gun, which is something that I do honestly enjoy. And even if you don't do this, the shield itself looks absolutely phenomenal, and with the blade too, it's incredible. But just in case you don't want to have him holding the sword and the shield, you do actually get a little adapter, which this thing is honestly super cool that they included this. So what you do is you first plug in the shield on the back, and then you take the Sword of Judgment, you slip it in right on the back, and already you got that look. But the way you attach this is you fold up the top of the truck, and it reveals a new peg, like a new slot where this peg can go into. So you can actually have him wield his weapons on his back, which is something that I am so impressed that they actually included an accessory like that. That is phenomenal. But to top it all off, you do actually get a little blade, which is the blade that he used to fight Galvatron, which is honestly really cool. Why is this painted though? Like, why couldn't the Sword of Judgment be painted, but this is? And it's not even like proper painting. It's just silver. Like I really wish that they could have given it like, you know, a little bit of orange personally. But you can either put this into his hand to wield like a little dagger, or you can bring the hand down, which will open up this little slot where you can plug in the peg. And yeah, honestly, it's really cool to see this blade be on the Knight Prime, I have to admit. So there you are. So with that all the way, how does he scale? Well, I gotta admit, the scaling is a little awkward, shall we say. But without further ado, let's get into it. To begin with, as always, here he is next to the TF1 Deluxe class Megatron and Optimus Prime. Here he is next to the 86 Commander class Optimus Prime, the Bumblebee Movie 109 Concept Art Megatron, and finally here he is next to the original Bayverse Optimus Prime, which I think between both of these, I think in terms of design, I still prefer the first version, but in terms of figure, I think I gotta go with the Knight Prime. It's honestly a really nice figure. So, there you are. Now then, getting into this guy's transformation, this guy has got to have one of the most complicated but fun transformations I think I've ever seen, and that's honestly saying something. So without further ado, let's get into it. So to start off with, we're gonna go ahead and untab these pieces if we were gonna take the back off. I'm gonna go ahead and bring all of this out. Then you're going to fully fold up these pieces until they almost soft tab into place with these. Next up, you want to take the grill and bring it out. And then you want to bring these pieces down like so. And then just make sure that's folded down and you got the front of the cab ready to go. Next up, what you want to do is you want to untab the arms like so. And then, now a little thing with the chest is that you want to make sure that it slides over this gray piece so that it actually fully folds up like so. It should untab the back, so you can just bring that down as much as you can. Take the chest, take the first part of the chest, or the lower part of it I should say, and fold it up like so. Next up, what you want to do, if you want to actually, you can go ahead and fold up the side skirts, and you can just go ahead and bring all of this up like so. Now we're going to rotate all this around, and this will essentially just jump, like this will just fold over this. Now there is some tabs here and here that go into slots here and here. So you're just gonna go ahead and bring all this down, line it up, and tab it into place like so. And crazy enough, that's the front of the cab. Now we're gonna go ahead and work on the side parts. So what you wanna do is you wanna bring this out like so until it goes over this piece. And then you want to rotate the arm, use that double hinge joint to fold this up. You want to take this piece up for the shoulder. You want to bring it around, and there's a slot right there that will go into that tab right there. So just line it up, tap it into place. Now I will admit sometimes it doesn't like to stay tabbed in, so just keep that in mind. And there's a slot here that goes into this tab here. So just line it up and tab it into place like so. And then you can go ahead and fold this up. Now there is a piece down at the bottom where the back will kind of smooth on into. Now this part, I won't lie, is kind of annoying, as you gotta align this with the back of the truck. So it can be a little tedious sometimes, but you go ahead and do the same thing on the other side, like so. And that is now basically the front of the cab ready to go. Following up with that, you want to just go ahead and fold this first skirt piece up. You want to take the waist, rotate it 180 degrees. And this is where a lot of the really interesting stuff, but also the slightly complicated stuff comes in. So you want to fully fold the feet up. You want to take these pieces, rotate them like so, so that now the fronts of the legs are now facing towards one another. And now you want to take this, what was originally the, now you want to take what was basically the thigh, and you want to untab it, fold it up like so, bring it up like so. You want to bring this down, fold this up, and then take this piece and fold it in like so. Now what you want to do is you want to take the wheels here, untab them to bring them down, bring this piece out, spin this 180 degrees, and fold this piece out. Do the same for the other side, like so. I know this looks like a bit of a mess, but trust me, it'll pay off in the end. Now what you can do is you can go ahead and tab these pieces together. Tabs in from two areas. It will tab in from this piece here, and it'll tab in on the trailer hitch right there. Now you want to go ahead and tab all of these pieces together like so. And now there are a various amount of tabs that will go into multiple slots. So you just want to bring this down on top of it like so. I will warn you right now, it does not like to stay tabbed in at all, but I think Hasbro knew this because there is there's a slot that will go into this tab here. So you just want to line it up. Oh, and also there's also a slot here that these tabs will tab into. So essentially, you just want to line it up and tab it into place. Make sure everything is nice and secure. And now the final part is you just want to take these wheels and fold them up like so. Here is the Knight Optimus converted into his Western Star truck mode. And with the exception of the top piece not really tabbing in, this is incredible. All the paint, all the details are beautifully distributed, and I absolutely love this alternate mode. This has got to be one of my favorite alt modes that they've ever made, and even looking at the bottom, it cleans up pretty decently, to be honest. Now, in case you're wondering, yes, there is weapon storage. So you just want to slide the sword inside the truck from this little cavity in here, and you can plug it in, which is honestly something I find pretty incredible. But with that, guys, that is my full review of the Age of Extinction Leader Class Optimus Prime. Now let's go to my overall thoughts and let you guys know what I think of this figure. And with that, guys, that is my review of the Leader Class Age of Extinction Optimus Prime. Now what are my thoughts on it? Pros, this figure looks incredible. He looks so close to the CGI model. I was impressed. How they handled the kibble, with the exception of the back, but I'll also give it some slack because the backpack is removable, so I'll cut them a little bit of slack there. And the transformation is so unique. Like, I've never seen a transformation like that before, and that's saying something. And honestly, just the overall sculpt is fantastic. Articulation is amazing. And how many poses you can pull off with this guy, including the accessories, are also incredible. The only con I'd really have, it might just be my copy, but the shoulder, specifically the right shoulder, is a little more loose, which causes the arm to not really be able to hold its place. And yeah, the paint also could have used a little more paint, especially on the Sword of Judgment. I think that the blade should have at least had paint, but that's just me personally. If I had to give this figure a ranking from 1 to 10, I would have to give it a very solid 9.5 out of 10. It is so close to a 10 out of 10. My only issue really is just the paint. Like, if the paint was in better places for the silver, this would have been a 10 out of 10. But would I still recommend you guys get this figure? Abso-freaking-lutely. This guy is incredible, and I could not recommend him more. But with that, guys, that go ahead and marks the end of the video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for the next one, and I'll see you all in the next one. Have a good day, have a good night, and I'll catch y'all on the flip side.
Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. This is Optimus endorsing Thundermus Prime. It's prime time.